Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever the case may be. Thanks for tuning in to watch this video, guys. I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk about some of the guitar brands that I feel like are very trendy, or at least I feel like that a lot of people are talking about maybe in the YouTube or online world. If you haven't checked it out, I just recently made another video talking about affordable, all solid wood guitars that are priced under or just over $1,000. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I'll try to put a link to it somewhere around here or maybe down in the description. But I wanted to do a little bit of a segue video on a similar tone. I wanted to, again, reiterate some of the guitar brands that have been on my mind and, again, that I feel like a lot of people are talking about or that are featured, some of the NAMM videos that a lot of YouTubers make. I also wanted to mention in this video some of the higher end boutique, like luthier driven guitar brands, because I didn't really mention that in the other affordable all solid wood under $1,000 guitar video that I made. So I just figured I'd take just a couple minutes just to not go into too much of a deep dive, but at least just mention some of the brands out there. Just if you wanted to buy one or check them out for yourself and go in a rabbit hole for each one and see what you think about them if you do decide to purchase one of these higher end guitars. But also too, just for the comparison's sake, if you wanted to compare one of these higher end like OM or Triple O or Grand Auditorium, one of those models compared to another all solid wood import guitar that might be under $1,000. So just maybe as a point of reference. So that being said, I wanted to start out by mentioning really quickly just some of the guitar brands that I feel like are just very prevalent or featured in the guitar nerd world or the YouTube world right now. These are some of the brands that you'll see a lot at your local guitar shop, or at least talked about a lot in YouTube videos. If you're scrolling through YouTube like I am a lot and looking at other guitar YouTubers. So some of the brands that I feel like are being talked about a lot right now and that I have been focused on recently. I'll start with the three major popular ones just to get those out of the way. And we got Martin, Taylor, and Gibson, of course. Some of the ones below that are Bourgeois, Santa Cruz, Husson Dalton, Collings, Loudon, Firk or Furch, however you pronounce it. And then we have Eastman, Breedlove, Blue Ridge, Yamaha, Sire, Recording King, and Orangewood. Okay, I wanted to kind of categorize each of those guitars into kind of like a certain category, like entry to intermediate, maybe like upper mid-range / modern production, heritage, like the big three guitars, which, you know, we all know which ones those are. And last category, high-end boutique or luthier driven guitar brands. So, okay, entry to intermediate. So, and this is just kind of my own research / thoughts that I've kind of taken as far as kind of how I would categorize these guitar brands. And I'm not getting down to the specific guitar models in this video. I'm just kind of just the broad brush strokes of these guitar brands, if you will. I know that a lot of these brands make, you know, lower priced and medium range price guitars and higher end. So I know there's some flexibility as far as all that goes. But okay, first category I have is my entry to intermediate value-focused guitar category. Now in this one, I have Yamaha, I have Sire guitars, Blue Ridge, Recording King, and Orangewood. Some of the characteristics for this category focused on price to performance ratio, consistent quality control. These are guitars that, or these brands make guitars that might be ideal for beginners to intermediate players, or your gigging musicians. It might be good for that as well. Something to note too, Yamaha just like I said earlier, Yamaha really spans the full spectrum from beginning to medium, intermediate to really high-end professional players. So that's one thing to make note of there for the Yamaha guitar brand. Okay, next category we have upper to mid-range modern production guitars. And real quickly, I know at the beginning of this video, I mainly talked about the focus being on the higher end boutique guitars. So don't worry, we'll get there for the last category and we'll talk through those real quick and go from there. Okay, but the next category I want to talk about is the upper mid-range / modern production guitars. Now in this category, I put Eastman guitars as well as Breedlove. Now, some of the characteristics one could say would be in this category are high quality guitars, often solid wood construction. Again, I just made the other video recently of a bunch of all solid wood guitar models with a lot of these brands that are under $1,000. So go check out that video and you can see more about that. But yeah, characteristics in this category: high quality, often solid wood construction, kind of bridging the gap between factory made and boutique guitars would be that category. So, and again, we have Eastman and Breedlove in this category. Okay, moving on to the third out of 4 categories. We have the Heritage Big 3 industry standards. And I'm sure you can guess which 3 I'm going to say for this one. So for this category, I put Martin, Taylor, and Gibson. Some of the characteristics for these guitar brands would be these are the dominant manufacturers selling industry standards for acoustic and electric guitars. Martin, of course, has the traditional warm, bass-heavy acoustic focus. Taylor, when you think of Taylor, you think more of the modern, bright. If you've never played a Taylor, yeah, it definitely feels like no matter which Taylor guitar you pick up, they all have that similar bright, crisp sound. It's hard to explain unless you play. Now, in recent years, they have switched the way they do their bracing with the V-Class and things like that. So that does change some things up as far as the tonal qualities of some of their guitars. But if you look pre-V-Class bracing, I always felt like all the Taylor guitars all had that one characteristic. They had that modern, bright, just crisp, but very, just all the sonic tonal qualities of it were always just very good. I don't know how to say it. They were all just always very bright and resonant and just sounded amazing. Okay, so that's for Taylor guitars. And then Gibson, of course, iconic acoustics and electric guitars for Gibson, which, of course, Martin has that too, going back to the late 1800s and early 1900s. Some of the most famous guitars, including Martin invented the dreadnought guitar, so we have that. And quick side note too, just quick aside, Taylor invented the Grand Auditorium, Grand Symphony, that type of body shape, so that's what they're known for. And of course, Gibson, you have a lot of the, back in the early 1900s, the L series guitars and stuff that they would make for some of those body shapes and styles of the guitars. Okay, moving on to the last category I have here. Circling back to the beginning when I was talking about some of the boutique, higher end guitars, more expensive also. So this category is the high-end boutique / luthier driven guitar brands. So in this one, I did put Bourgeois guitars, Santa Cruz, Huss and Dalton, Collings, Loudon, Boucher. And some of the characteristics I would say for these guitar brands, and just generally speaking, some of the characteristics would be a small workshop feel for some of the guitar builds, almost like a master-luthier designed, if you will, for some of these guitars. Exceptional attention to detail, high-grade tone woods, voice for specific sonic characteristics. And of course, for these guitar brands, we have the very high, well, I feel like it's very high, but it's a higher price point. For these guitars, we'll probably be looking, I would say, I'm just throwing out this, I don't know, I could probably do some more research on this, but for these, a lot of these guitars, I think you're going to be looking at anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to even $9,000 or $10,000, depending on which guitar model you get from these brands. Maybe some of them might be a little less than $5,000, maybe in the $4,000 range, but again, depending on which guitar model you get from them, you're looking at anywhere from $4,000 or $5,000 all the way up to $9,000, $10,000. So, like I said in my last video I made, hey, if you have the budget for a $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 guitar, and if you want to spend that kind of money on a guitar, go for it. That's awesome. Get that money, go buy that guitar, and you're gonna have an amazing sounding guitar that just has amazing sound. The woods are going to be just beautiful, and the build quality is just going to be like no other. I mean, it's going to be I would say the only level up from that, if you could even say it's a level up, would be, going to an individual guitar builder and spending close to $30,000 on a custom built guitar from a guitar builder. Besides that, I feel like these boutique brands are probably the next closest best thing, and honestly, not too far off from buying a custom guitar from a guitar builder. So again, in this category, we have Bourgeois, Santa Cruz, Huss and Dalton, and did I say Collings? I don't know if I put Collings in there. Yes, I did. I think I did. Bourgeois, Santa Cruz, Huss and Dalton, Collings, Loudon, and Boucher. So check out some of those guitars. I haven't actually played any guitars from those companies, from those brands myself. I would love to eventually soon one day. So hopefully maybe I can get my hands on one and put some videos out just so you guys can hear them and see what they look like and hear what they sound like. And maybe even do some comparison videos, because as you guys may or may not know, my mission lately, or my mantra, if you will, has been to spread awareness that you don't necessarily have to spend way over $1,000. You don't have to necessarily spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for an all solid wood acoustic guitar. You can buy an all solid wood guitar that's an acoustic guitar that's under $1,000. And there's lots of options these days to choose from. Now, most of those are going to be imported guitars, which means they're produced in other countries. A lot of the guitar brands that these imports are made under, they are American companies, such as like Breedlove and who else we got in there? Breedlove and Blue Ridge from Saga Music, Recording King, things like that. So a lot of these cheaper guitars that are under $1,000, they are going to be imports. But you can get all solid wood guitars for under $1,000. So if you don't want to spend any more than $1,000, or if that's where your budget is, there's a lot of great options. So I'm just trying to bring awareness to that for everyone, including myself, to at least consider those options. Do some deep dives, do some YouTube searches, go to your local music store, play some of these Eastmans, these Blue Ridges, these Yamahas, and see what you think for yourself before just going out and spending several $1,000s, especially if you're starting out, if you're just maybe a few years into learning the acoustic guitar. Maybe consider buying one of these imports like a Yamaha or an Eastman or a Blue Ridge or a Recording King or a Sire guitar, because you're going to be spending anywhere from $600, $700, $800, $900 versus spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for, at least for one of the big three popular brands such as Taylor, Martin, or Guitar. Anyways, enough talking for me, guys. Please, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really like to make videos that have anything to do with guitars, mainly acoustic guitars, as well as saxophones and jazz music. So, and for my guitar stuff, a lot of the stuff lately I put out is bluegrass and flat picking type stuff, at least some of the YouTube shorts that I put online. Sometimes I'll do some YouTube shorts that have to do with your top 40 type songs, or songs that you would hear maybe like going out and listen to some live music or whatever. Some of the songs I used to do with my gigs. So, okay, enough. I'm done talking. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, guys. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And thank you again so much for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next video.